Hi everybody and welcome back to McNulty's Book Corral. Remember when comic books were fun? In a previous episode I pulled out a vintage paperback by the great writer Gardner Fox, and when I did that I was reminded of the fact that he wrote some great comic book scripts. So just for fun one day I was rummaging around in the back room and pulled out some boxes. That's always a mistake when a collector pulls out boxes and starts to rummage around, because I grabbed some stuff and I thought I'd just show it to you for fun. Here's a Green Lantern comic from the 60s, and guess who this was written by? It was written by Gardner Fox. Spotlight on the Lamplighter, Green Lantern number 60. Gardner Fox was all over the map as a writer. So that previous episode led to this episode, which led to this comic book, which led to this comic book, which is the first appearance of Guy Gardner in Green Lantern. I had just grabbed a couple. This is when comic books were fun. Here is Green Lantern number 8, The Challenge from 5700 AD. So it's an oldie moldy. The man who mastered magnetism. Green Lantern comics, you know, Gardner Fox, John Broome. Here is one that I believe Denny O'Neil wrote this, with a Neil Adams cover. This was just an interesting story. Yeah, Denny O'Neil wrote it. It's called This Is the Way the World Ends. One of the more interesting Green Lantern comic books from the 60s. And some of these have been reprinted in the trade paperbacks that DC Comics started to put out and apparently has stopped. I'm not sure. I no longer buy DC Comics. I have the good stuff. So, anyways, I'm grabbing a box. I'm looking at the fun stuff. Comic books used to be so much fun. You know, here is Lawman TV from Dell, John Russell and Peter Brown, and this is signed by John Russell. I'll see if I can get a scan out there for you, something I picked up many, many years ago. Comic books were fun. If you liked the TV show, there was often a comic book that went with it. Here is Laramie, and I actually had Robert Fuller sign this at a convention just a few years ago. I used to collect Jungle comics, and they were so much fun. Lot of fun adventure style, Tarzan style adventures. Kanga, Jungle Lord in Raid of the Fire Fangs with Camilla, Wambi, and Simba. Okay. Kanga, Jungle Lord in Treasure Tomb of the Ape King. Just fun material all the way around. Orphans of the Congo with Camilla. I do believe that's Camilla on the cover. So, you know, there was a lot of diversity in the 70s and even into the early to mid 80s. It was still fun to collect the Golden Age stuff. So this is my oldest Batman, which is Detective Comics number 54. I think this is 1940. This is just a great old comic to have, you know. And it's in pretty good shape. Captain America, always a favorite. Here is the classic 100 issue. This is when Kirby was just taking over the world. Stan Lee was still writing scripts. This is 68, so about this time, I think some of the other writers like Roy Thomas and Jerry Conway were contributing. Here's a Marvel team-up number 1 with Spider-Man and the Human Torch. Here's a Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man number 1. And here's some early Daredevils. Marvel just released the Daredevil trade paperback, which I'll get to when I do the update on those. So I have, what is this, number 8 and number 10. I have many, many more. I just, for some reason, these were in a separate box. Iron Man number 1, 1968. Iron Man number 2. Iron Man number 3. Iron Man number 4. And Iron Man number 5. So just a little retro throwback showing a little bit of the collection, a very small portion of it. I thought that would be interesting to you people out there that love the old comic books. This is fun material, and now I have a lot of fun coming my way because I have to put them away and try and put them in the right box where they belong, because they were obviously in a miscellaneous box where they didn't belong. That just messes everything up, doesn't it? In the meantime, stay well, stay happy, feed your brain, and read a comic book.